Yeah, well, I know that, Mr. Dobson. But there's nothing legal about it. Yeah, well, sure I wanted to sell, but now I've changed my mind. Well, of course I have a right. Well, look, there's no contracts have been exchanged. Yeah, well, I think that's my business. Why do you do that? Look, I'm not a mug, you know. Okay, be like that. It's gonna cause trouble, though.
Who's that?
Dobson. I've decided not to sell to him after all.
Good. I told you were too quick to make up your mind. Hey, didn't you sign something?
Well, it's just a piece of paper his secretary typed up. A pre-contract, he called it. He can't hold that to me in court.
Making threatening noises, is he?
Yeah, he's gonna get in touch with a solicitor.
What made you change your mind?
Well, Kev gave me this idea about advertising it to let. That way, I'll see some of my money back and can pay off the mortgage. And I can move in my own time.
Sounds like a very good idea, worth a try.
Yeah, old Dobson can be pretty tricky.
Oh, you can handle him, love. Right, I'm lunching in the bar if I'm needed.
Yeah, okay.
And don't forget your Harvey's car, will you?
Oh, no, I'll pop over and collect that in a minute.
Ah, Marian. Hello.
Got a message for you.
Oh. When did this come?
Oh, about 5 minutes ago. She tried to catch you on the phone.
Oh, yes, I was on my way.
Oh, wasted journey then?
Well, not really, just 10 minutes to kill. At least she tried.
So that was very efficient. Who is she?
Miss Charlesworth. She's a rep for a drug firm. Very go-ahead.
Oh, well, let's hope it is just 10 minutes. Are you lunching here?
Yes, that was the general idea.
Oh, yes, she's made a booking.
Good.
Well, do you want to have a drink or something while you're waiting?
No, thanks. I'll be asleep all afternoon. That would never do.
Oh, hello, Ellie. Thank goodness you come. I'll take
Oh, Sharon.
Hello.
Have you got a moment?
Well, the thing is, there's Mac. Probably some panic on. Hello.
Hi.
You looking for me?
No.
Isn't it lovely to be wanted? Who's in charge?
Well, Sid.
I bet you're straining at the leash, yes?
Oh, there's no panic.
Oh, come on. I know Sid when his elbow's itching, yes?
Look, I've just come over here to collect Mrs. Harvey's keys, remember? And I'm going back. Take your time. Everything is all right.
Thank you very much.
Do you want a drink?
I don't need one.
Well, then, just a talk. I think we both need that.
Oh, come.
Come in.
Come in.
Right, just hang on, just a tick. Right, there. Now, what can I do for you?
Just hand over your car keys, lady.
Ah, well, you mean you can do it this afternoon?
Oh, with a bit of juggling, yes, but it won't be ready till about 7 this evening.
Oh, that's all right. I'm working late.
Just the surface, is it?
Well, there is a bit of a peculiar noise coming from the gearbox.
What does it sound like?
An inexperienced piper droning out?
Oh, I see.
I don't suppose there's much wrong with it.
Okay, well, I'll have a look at it.
Thanks, Matt. You're an angel. Oh, sold your house yet?
No, I've had a change of mind. I've decided to hang on to it.
Oh, good. I am glad. You won't regret it.
Well, somebody gave me this idea of advertising it to let. That way it doesn't seem such a wrench.
No. Best of both worlds. I mean, you don't actually have to live in it then. I can see that would be dreadful. But it's still yours. Yeah. You're doing the right thing.
Well, I hope so.
Oh, yes. I know you are. I had all those sort of traumas, you know, with chimneys. The first 6 months on my own, I hated it. You know, I'd have sold it to the first genuine bidder who would come along. Everything reminded me. I don't have to tell you.
No.
You know, I used to moon around that place so much. I even got round to playing some of Stan's records, and then I just end up howling on the stairs.
Halfway up.
Yes, how did you know?
Me too. It's weird, that. How many people do that?
And then about 6 months later, I came down to breakfast one morning and everything was back to normal. The happy, comfortable home I'd always known and loved. Was I glad then that I hadn't rushed out and sold it?
Yeah, well, I've got quite a long way to go for that.
How are things going in that direction?
Oh.
Well, I mean, I know it's a bit early yet. I mean, you and Trina haven't been separated all that long, have you? And, well, if there's nobody else.
Well, it's up to Trina, really. If she wants a divorce, I won't block it. All I want is to be able to see Ben.
And I'm not going to pass judgment, Sharon. I haven't come with blame. Don't think that. I've known you a long time, liked you. I told Sal that at the party. Strange, isn't it? I suppose it was going on even then.
Yes, it was, and I tried very hard to get her to go into that, but she insisted, remember?
Yes, I remember. Look, I don't know quite how to start on this, so bear with me. She is my sister, and I have seen what it's doing to her. Now, nobody pretends she's the most perfect wife in the world, but she is his wife and has been for a long, long time. They've brought up a family together, been through all that. I used to think what would happen when the kids left, because it seemed to me that what they had was, well, pretty fragile. But then you can't know about people who share their lives. You can't know about the little things, the day-to-day things that seem to have very little meaning at all until you take them away. And then you feel the loss. He is her life, all of it, the sum total. Her whole world revolves around him. I used to think what a superficial world it was, but it's what she wants, it's what she's got. Or rather had.
Marian, I'm not going to pretend that she deserves any of this. Not to you, not to myself, especially not to myself, because I can't see what it's doing to her, but I can imagine, and I hate it. I hate myself for it, but I just don't know what to do. You haven't come here to ask me to call the whole thing off, have you? That's not what this is all about, is it?
No, I wouldn't dream of it. I'd like it. For Sal, I'd like it, but I wouldn't ask it. No, this is about you knowing what's happening to her.
Well, Oliver's told me.
Yes, I'm sure he has some of the things, but I dare say he was selective. It wouldn't be easy for him to dwell on the real pain. Now, I can't know how much you two feel for each other, but to survive that kind of wreckage, it's going to have to be one hell of a lot.
Well, he thinks it is. And you? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think we ought to see it, sir. I don't think there's any good tinkering about with it. Sounds like the carburetor. Well, we can soon trace that. We go back down to the pump, the filters, then, you know, through the fuel lines. It's a sort of process of elimination, really. Right back to the fuel tank. Yeah. Yeah, well, I think, yeah, you just bring it in. That's what I think you ought to do. Yeah, that's my advice. Yeah, I can fix you in probably tomorrow. Yeah, just hang on a second. Just have a look at the book. Yeah, what about, no, make it 10 for you. So 10 o'clock in the morning on the dot? Fine. Thanks very much. Bye. Another satisfied customer.
When you solve his problem?
Whoa, that's a bit of cake.
Giving him the full treatment, aren't you?
Well, I'm just practicing tonight.
What for?
Managerial experience. You know, Brussels, remember?
Yes, that's off, by the way.
Off?
Yep.
Well, why?
We saw the light.
What do you mean?
We've never done business there. Be a waste of time and money.
He tumbled, did he?
Yep.
Shame. No, on is it?
What?
Well, building a girl's hopes up like that.
Or a fella's. There goes your week of glory.
Oh, don't worry, I'll get by.
So will I, don't worry.
Anyway, kid, I'm all.
Yeah.
Good night.
No, no.
Oh, she rang, by the way.
Who?
His missus. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I was a bit mixed up before.
That's all right. Any message?
Well, she said nothing urgent. That's a change, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Makes a change. Oh. There we are.
Cheers. And let's hope it'll do some good. Your headache. I can see you still have it.
You know, a misplaced sympathetic remark, Councillor Berry, can sometimes be most unflattering. By the way, my husband said you're thinking of rerouting the bypass.
Yes, so does mine.
I merely said I'm using my influence.
Oh.
So the motel might still be in danger?
Not half so much as it was before you took me to dinner, and I returned the hospitality tonight.
You know, we could go on eating like this for years before we realized we had a dining room left in which to eat, Councillor.
Have faith in me. My present feeling is that I need influence only 3 councillors on the feasibility committee to achieve deadlock. Then, as chairman, I can swing the vote with my casting vote.
And when will that be?
In time, Mrs. Pollard. If it's true that, as they say, all good things do happen in time. And I'm sure as a romantic novelist, a writer of romantic fiction, you'd be the first to believe that, wouldn't you?
As a writer of romantic fiction, Councillor, I never believe a word I write. Do you believe in all you say?
Here we are, then.
Oh, lovely, thanks.
Couldn't find any biscuits.
Oh, there should be some in a packet somewhere. I think I bought some yesterday. I wonder if I left them in my shopping bag.
Go and see.
No, don't worry for me. No, I just want the tea. Unless you...
No, this'll do for me. Don't want to spoil my supper.
No.
Oh, yeah, let me.
It's daft, isn't it? I don't see able to...
Don't worry. Just relax.
I wonder what's on telly worth watching tonight.
Is that orchestra you like? Switch it on, shall I?
Please. Oh, thanks, lovely.
Did Glenn say what time she'll be back?
Oh, she's on late turn tonight. I'll be about 10, I expect, not before.
Hope she gets the buzz all right.
Aren't you going to meet her? You usually do when she's working late.
No, not tonight. Too comfortable.
Now, Kevin, you're not stopping in because of me, are you?
No, of course not. Whoever gave you that idea? No, it's not raining. She's only got to walk to the bottom of the drive.
Because if I thought that you...
Mum, honest. I don't meet her every night, do I? How'd you get on at the doctor's today?
All right. He said just stay off work a couple more days, you know, till I feel a bit stronger.
What, you needs a rest? It's good, this. Gonna be sorry she missed it. Mum, you all right?
Yes, go on watching the programme.
Didn't the doctor give you anything?
Yes, I'm just looking for them now. Stop worrying.
I'll get you a glass of water, shall
No,
I?
I can manage with the tea.
What are they? Tranquilizers?
Yeah, I was supposed to take a couple this afternoon.
Then why didn't you?
I forgot. No, I didn't forget. I was hoping I wouldn't need them. And I don't, once I start taking these.
But if he said you ought to take...
Well, I'm not going to. I'll be walking about half asleep. How can I keep my job like that?
Just while you're off work.
No, they're in that drawer, and that's where they're going to stay. I think I'll go up to bed, love, and read for a bit. Will you say goodnight to Glenda?
Yes, but...
No, love, I'm all right. Really. Just leave me alone, eh? As a good boy.
Headache any better, Mrs. Pollard?
You too. Every man I know seems obsessed by my headache.
Except your husband.
Oh, well, I shall be seeing him in the office in a few minutes.
Well, why don't you join us until then?
Oh, no. I wouldn't like to crash your party.
Might another brandy help?
I haven't started the one I've already got. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm being a wet blanket.
No, not at all.
Yes, I am. And the only proper place for a blanket is bed.
But it's only just after 9.
Then you'll have a long, cosy evening ahead of you. Good night, Councillor, and thank you for an excellent dinner.
I'm sorry to see you leave so soon, but I do understand. Good night.
Good night.
Something has occurred to me. It had been my original intention to invite you and Mrs. Pollard to accompany me to my flat for after-dinner coffee and brandy and perhaps a more illuminating discussion concerning the bypass. This isn't the sort of place where one can be sure of not being eavesdropped, is it?
Isn't it?
However, under the circumstances, I couldn't, could I?
Couldn't what?
Invite you and Mrs. Pollard back to my flat. Her headache, I mean. It would put too much on her.
Yes, I agree.
But what does occur to me is this. You haven't a headache. And the night's early.
Hello, David. Finished work?
And ready to unwind. Councillor, would you care to join my wife and myself in the sitting room for a nightcap?
It's very kind of you, Mr. Hunter, but your dining room manager fairly swamped my wine glass every few moments. I have to drive. Besides, I...
Developed a bit of a headache.
Ah, good dinner?
Not bad. I must thank you for advising me to look at your revised bid for the casino. Only after dinner and not before.
And as I promised, it no doubt topped the meal off nicely.
No, it was too late to interfere with my digestion.
Young man, be sure of this. That bid reflects my generosity, not the true value of the casino, which is much less.
Oh, well, would you care to see offers from other bidders? And the lowest one almost doubles yours.
You have actually gone about offering for auction something which I own.
You own?
Do you realize the charges that could lay you open to?
Do you realize the ones you could lay yourself open to?
Understand this, Mr. Lord, before you land yourself in court. A contingency bid, when the contingency envisaged arises, puts the bidder in possession at the price he offered, and not a penny more.
And what is this contingency bid that you keep on talking about, Mr. Pollard?
No, don't try to be smart with me. You know very well it's the bid I made to your fiancée, Georgina Moran.
Oh, wrong person. The contingency did not arise that it was left to her. It was left to Mrs. Kate Hamilton, who never once considered a bid from you whatsoever.
Because, young man, she stated in this room, in front of witnesses, including Mr. and Mrs. Hunter, that she would never accept the bequest of the casino. In other words, she repudiated all claim to ownership. So it devolved upon Miss Moran, and because of my bid, it has now devolved upon me.
Well, if you're so sure of your ground, why did you tonight increase that bid?
I've already told you. There were human factors involved.
Kindness of heart?
Yes. A condition from which I suspect you will never suffer.
Well, then let's see how much you're suffering from it. Which is to say, what a court would think of your character. When did you make the contingency bid to my fiancée?
What?
Exactly when did you make the contingency bid to Miss Georgina Moran?
Well, immediately after the trial.
The verdict of which you told to yourself by telephoning Canada.
What are you getting at?
How old is Georgina Moran?
How on earth do I know?
You operated as if you knew it very well. How old? What, 24?
Well, if you say so.
You agree that you telephoned Georgina, a 24-year-old girl living alone in Canada, and told her that Mrs. Kate Hamilton had been found guilty of manslaughter. The manslaughter of Georgina's father. And then, in the same breath, offered to buy from that girl a casino which her father might have left her, at a price so ridiculously low that only tonight, in what I suppose was a rare moment of shame, you offered to increase that bid, just a little.
Business, young man, is business.
Seldom conducted like this.
Indeed not. And I refuse to deal any further with you in respect of Miss Moran.
I also represent Mrs. Hamilton.
What?
I telephoned her today. When exactly did you make the contingency bid to her?
You know perfectly well she refused to discuss
When,
it.
Mr. Pollard?
You know very well when.
Within an hour of having heard herself found guilty of manslaughter. 1 hour. Dear God. Quick off the mark in both cases, weren't you, Mr. Pollard? A bereaved daughter, a woman half out of her mind following an extreme ordeal, and you, an experienced businessman, there on the dot, badgering them both while they were still in a state of shock.
All very touching, Mr. Lord, but beside the legal points. First, Mrs. Hamilton, by her own admission, wants nothing to do with the casino. Second...
First, Mr. Pollard, everything that I have just said to you, Mrs. Hamilton thought over this afternoon, and she changed her mind. She objects to you robbing a dead man's grave, particularly when it's a grave of a man she loved. She has empowered me to do everything I possibly can to prevent you. And the first thing I shall do is that.